hello everyone. As we explore the pathway to enlightenment together. I'm looking forward to today, as I do every day. So while we're waiting for people to come on board, let's meditate to a couple of songs. Here we go. We'll try this one by Joaquin Lovato. Take a breath. In Buddhism, it's said that we should awaken or become aware of our original face. That's the face you had before you came in to the body. Um, this past week, I had one of my longstanding students, been with me for 37 years, pass away. And, you know, take it for what it's worth, but my experience was that I met her on the other side. And she was waiting for me. She smiled. And I just took her through the bardo. I took her right through into a higher place. She would have gone there anyway. It was an amazing experience. But while I was there, I observed how the spirit leaves the body. And it leaves the body like a fog, like a mist, just kind of, because your spirit has no boundaries. It just kind of, but there's part of it that part of this essence that is your soul, part of this mist still has a few things it wants to see or do for people who are behind. So usually people will experience, after someone's passing, experience that person for 2 or 3 days afterwards. It's like you're in a room and suddenly it's like they walk in and you they're not there, but you feel that they are. And then after about 3 days, even that part goes to join the rest. It keeps evolving as I become more and more aware of things that are happening. I'm beginning to see other aspects, and this is just another aspect of something that I've seen for years. But while I was there, I thought, well, since I'm here and she's fine, I think we'll look at the birth process. They're kind of the same. In fact, they're almost identical. Except the part that stays behind and visits everyone kind of takes over a little bit on the entrance, not the exit. It's the first thing to grab hold of things and the last thing to let go. But I tuned in to what it's like in the first few moments or the first half day of birthing. At that point, there is no personality, not even a sense of self, just awareness. There have been no thoughts other than just hearing a heartbeat, feeling different things, maybe hearing a little music and wondering what that was. but now you're in the world. You can't tell the difference in the beginning from sight and sound. It's also confusing. Nothing has been defined yet. Sight and sound and taste. Your body has certain windows, but they haven't been defined yet. You become aware of the difference fairly soon between light and sound. But in the beginning, you don't know that. It's very confusing. But you see the difference between light and sound. And then the light starts to focus a little bit. You still have a very strong sense of taste. Your taste in your mouth is very well developed at birth. It's that way so that you can nurse. So other than a very strong sense of taste and light and sound that are confusing, and feelings and touching, all this stuff is not defined yet. There are no thoughts yet, just awareness. And then things start to take form. In Tibetan Buddhism, they call that the potter's wheel. We start to create a form. We notice things that are hot and cold and hard and soft. We can smell the different smells that are there, the smell of food, the smell of the people around us, new and different smells, taste. Everything goes to the mouth. Your sense of taste is fully developed. Foot goes to the mouth, everything goes to the mouth. And you're starting to create a sense of self, a sense that I am here and there's things outside of me. This all happens pretty quickly. But we're going back to that time of the original face. From that moment on, we start putting on the tapestry, the clothes, the experiences, all the things that our ego puts together to create our experience of life, that creates personalities, caretaker personalities. The ego is extremely important in this process because the ego is always saying who, what, when, and how. That's what it wants to know all the time. Who, what, when, and how. How did that happen? What is that? Where is that? I gotta put who, what, when, and how. Yeah, where is that? All of these things, the ego builds an entire reality. Out of that search engine. We're also endued, I'm probably mispronouncing that, with hormonal system that provides emotions. Good emotions, bad emotions, fear, love, sadness, happiness, all of those emotions. So many emotions that feed off of who, what, when, and where, and how. And we build constructs, religions, politics, everything out of these constructions, and just keep going and going all through life. And then at the end, when you leave the body, you don't take the ego with you. You don't take the physical body with you. You don't take your possessions, your personalities, you don't take any of that stuff. You take you. your original face, pure awareness. In this life, we should seek our original face because it brings a sobriety to our mind. It brings us a sense of purpose. So we start spiritual practice. Spiritual practice is the ultimate who, what, when, and how. It too is an ego projection, but it's aimed at something that is non-physical, which makes it really special. There are other things that we do that are very like-minded, like if you focus on music, playing an instrument or something, it's the sound, but that itself is a physical thing, but there's a melody before the sound. There are the notes on the page. So I think music is about as close to spiritual practice as you can get. That's why I combine music with my meditations, because music doesn't require thought. It's universal. And some people like certain types of music according to their life experiences and what they've been. If the only thing that you've heard your entire life is bluegrass music, then you're probably going to have a hard time with punk rock. You know, it's that sort of thing, or with classical music. I think I'm moving back here to the original face. So what we have here is a spiritual practice that's seeking the original face. And we do it through meditation. When we meditate, we try to stop our thoughts. This is not new. I mean, this is kind of standard. But just try to stop your thoughts. Now, this is very difficult because when you're sitting and you're trying to stop your thoughts, you're setting your mind on a one thing, a mantra, the center of a mandala, a candle flame, that sort of thing. When your mind gets on one thing, the rest of the thoughts start to slow down, but there's still some thoughts. So then maybe you're starting to really get into your meditation a little bit and you close your eyes, and for just a second or two, silence. And then you get an itch. And then you have a thought. And then, back to the meditation. A few years ago on my birthday, one of my students did a dance. And the title of the dance was Monkey Mind. And she was playing this music, and it showed her sitting down on her chair to meditate. And now her mind would go off on one thing and she'd get up and dance around, and then she'd come back and sit back down. And then pretty soon she'd leap up and then sit back down. It was like what a meditation is like. It was perfect example. I still see it in my mind. She's an incredible dancer. So you're doing your meditation and you're having thoughts and feelings come all the time. But every once in a while in your meditation, you actually come in contact with your original face. Not only do the thoughts stop, but there's a sense of vastness, of limitlessness. There's also kind of a feeling of joy. It's like, that's about the only emotion I get. That feeling of love. You enter into a space where you actually don't have anything other than the silence. And in that silence, you're full. In that emptiness, you're full. In that fullness, you're empty. We run out of words because we are trying to describe something that cannot be described. It's indescribable. It's beyond dimensions. It's beyond our rationality and our logic. It's beyond our conceptions. So we don't try to conceive it. We surrender to it. For those of you that can see, open your spiritual eyes and I'll show you. We're not trying to visit God. We're not trying to touch the divine. We're seeking to dissolve into the divine. We're not seeking to become enlightened. We surrender to the enlightenment process and let it dissolve us. Let it dissolve the seeker. It's tough to quiet that little egoic voice that is always chirping in the background, saying who, what, when, how, when, where. Where's this taking us? What is this? How is this? What is this? Why? These words have no meaning to the original face. Now, this talk is only meant for people who are really serious about deepening their meditation, who are not meditating so that they'll get something, that they'll get more money, a better job, a relationship, that sort of thing. This is simply preparing you for your transition. You can die daily. Paul said in the Bible, he said, I die daily. In meditation, you can die daily. You're practicing your death and you're experiencing the after-death experience when you go into samadhi. and it changes you. The power of the egoic mind that is always who, what, when, where, why, how. That voice starts to get quieter and quieter until for periods of time it just goes to sleep. And you're left in a place of vastness with no thought. Maybe the only thing you experience is wonder. Once you've started to experience your original face more and more, then this world starts to come into focus. It starts to come into play in a different way. Before that experience, you were a physical being, and every once in a while, through prayer and meditation or whatever, you would have a spiritual experience. But after your original face experience, once you really get it, sorry, once you get it, that's crazy. Once you have awoken to your original face, then you realize that you're a spiritual being having a physical experience. It's the other way around. You're not having spiritual experiences. You're a spiritual being having physical experiences, but you're totally caught up in your ego. Who, what, when, why, how. And you're always making judgments, pleasurable, painful, fearful, terrorizing, you know, lustful, all of these different things, envy, all of these different experiences. They just melt away after a while into a perfection, into a divine perfection. And that realization changes you. It changes how you look at other people. It changes how you address this world. It changes how you deal with yourself and your own physicality, how you treat animals and even insects. Your judgments, this is good, that's bad, this is terrible. All of these things start to go away. And the folly of life and the frivolous activities that we do to consume our time here start to come into focus, and you see, I don't need to put my energy there. I no longer need to get angry. I no longer need to align myself with a group of people so that we can make great changes in the world. I don't need to do any of that stuff anymore. I'm in this world, but I'm not of it. All of the enlightened masters, all of the gods and goddesses, God itself is a manifestation. My experience of that is a manifestation of my ego taking these energies and giving it form. But they're me and they're you, and we are one. We're one with everything. Let go of your life. You will anyway. It's just a matter of time. So why not practice? Why not practice letting go of your life in your meditation? My student, when she died, before I even let her, caught her on the afterlife, she had already let go. It was a short journey from where she was into her original face, into that place where we all go when we die. That big suppository of souls. Each one of them have lost their egos. Each one of them, the only thing that goes into that spot is the original face. And then it reincarnates. And we start this process again. Going to sleep and waking up. So yes, you'll meet everyone on the other side. All of your friends and all of your enemies. You'll meet everyone there. And you'll meet no one there. Because all you will see is their original face. You'll see their original strand of luminosity. And that doesn't mean that you won't recognize them. Of course you will. I'll recognize my teacher right away because I wasn't that interested in his physical life. I was interested in his original face, which he showed me a lot. Just as I'm showing you mine. So little time here. A few short decades. Most of them spent with the ego chasing around, trying to define where its place was, what it was, where it was, why it was, how it was. Going through all the emotions of fear and anger, aggression and passivity and being a coward and being brave and all of these different experiences. Done them all. And somewhere in that process, I was able to reconnect with my original face. All the gods, all the goddesses, all of it's inside of me, fully manifested, just like it is inside of you. But it's your egoic self that keeps you from knowing it. You're so busy projecting outside of yourself that Jesus is going to come from outside of you, or that, some God or some ascended master is going to tell you the truth. If that's how your ego wants to put it together, it will, and you'll have those experiences. But I'm telling you that that's all you. There's just one. There. I've come to the end of language. I can't explain it anymore. I can only show you. And if you have eyes to see, that's good enough. Next Sunday, we will not have a meditation. I'm going to be in New Mexico celebrating the summer solstice. Look forward to seeing some of you there. And if any of you are watching this video and haven't subscribed, if you'd like to know what's going on, what plans I have for the fall equinox and that sort of thing, you should join my mailing list. It would be a very good thing to do. So I think what I'd like to do is finish today's with a meditation. My heart's so open. I'm gonna go scuba diving in the Coral Sea. Namaste.